Hi, I'm Angie Neville. About 5 years ago, I had a childhood dream come true, and that was becoming a published author. A Leap in Time had been a story that lived in my heart for so many years before it even saw the light of day. And so with the publication of A Leap in Time, a lot of amazing things have happened to me, from great people that I met along the way, mentors, new friendships that I would have never met otherwise, to having the opportunity to blog, which is yet another thing that I never actually thought about doing. So the blog started off with just me sharing anecdotes about the writing process and what it took for me to get published, and sharing with you some of the ideas that I had around brainstorming and how I pushed through writer's block. And so it was all about that process and that part of the experience for me. But as time went on, I started to feel that the blog needed to evolve a little bit more, and I wanted to share more of me with you, more than just the writing part of it. I wanted to share with you a big part of my life, which was how I juggle being a working mom and a writer and a wife. And so I felt that the juggle is something that we all do, whether we are parents or not. And so there was grace in the way that we accepted the responsibility and gave ourselves that lead time to still have our own time, but also keep all those balls up in the air. But yet again, as time went on, I started to feel yet another shift in the blog. And I started to feel that that was not, it wasn't for me anymore. I didn't feel that I had other content or fresh content to share with you in this space. And so I started to think about shutting the blog down. And I had a really hard time letting go of it because it had taken me so many years to build it, and I invested so much of my heart into sharing some of these stories, whether they were about the working mom bit and me, or just talking to you about the writing process and the characters that had come to life for me. All of it was extremely personal to me, and I didn't want to let it go, but I wasn't feeling invested in doing more of it. It didn't feel like it was where I wanted to be. So it was like this weird tug of war. So I did what I do when I'm stuck, and I meditated and I asked for guidance. And the guidance that I got was that I shouldn't shut the blog down. And instead, I should evolve the blog to talk a little bit more around my own personal and spiritual growth and the journey that I've been on for the last 24 plus years. And the more I resisted this response, the more I was bombarded with needing to share this with you. And so I resisted it because I felt that personal journeys and growth and spiritual experiences, they're all so personal and they're so private, and a lot of them can be quite difficult because, let's face it, we can't evolve without a lesson, and oftentimes the lesson shows up in a really difficult situation or through a very difficult person or whatever it may be. It's not a picnic, right? And it's not sitting at the beach meditating. It's going through something that opens us up and that makes us see things in a different way and shifts our perspective. And so for me, it was no different. There have been some very profound experiences in my life that have shifted the way that I think about things and helped me evolve, and I consider all of them a blessing. Even the very worst times and the rock bottom times, they're all a blessing, and I'm extremely grateful for all of them because they led me to where I am today, in the way that I think, in the way that I react to things, in the way that I receive information. Even my own way of asking for guidance has changed. The things that I ask for has changed. So I wouldn't trade any of that for the world, but I was still hesitant to share all of that on such a public platform because it felt so vulnerable. And I worried about judgment, and I worried about criticism, and I worried about how this information will be received by people that some have been extremely kind and interactive with me and engaged, and some who I've never met and may never meet. So it's a lot to put out there, and not everybody is open to spiritual growth or talking about personal growth, and so it's already a touchy subject. So I resisted it, and after many weeks of sort of trying to silence that voice, I decided to embrace it. And I decided to push through my own discomfort of being on camera and my own discomfort of sharing a very vulnerable personal part of my life, because I felt that there was a higher calling in place. And I do believe in my heart of hearts that we all do have a calling, and I do believe that we all have a bigger purpose than just the lives that we lead on a daily basis. And part of that purpose is to be of service, and that service is to one another. And so I had imagined my way of service to be through things that I do in my day-to-day life. I never imagined it to be sharing this part of my experiences with you. So I am embracing it, and I will continue to share this very personal part of my journey with you in hopes that it does inspire or give hope or give guidance or even give somebody pause to look and think about a situation that they may be facing in a different light. Because oftentimes we're so involved in whatever we're dealing with that we can't see past our own experiences, when in truth so many of us experience the exact same thing, just in different ways. And so if we can learn from one another, if what I went through can be of service to you on any level, then I am humbled and honored to share it. So if you have not read the blog, it's called NG. You can find it on ngnevel.com/chasingzen. If you have been reading the blog, and some of you have been so gracious and kind in your emails and your comments and sharing the blog with your friends, I am so grateful for you, and I am so thankful and happy that you are here in this space with me, and I will continue to do that. So be on the lookout for a new blog on the website. So again, it's ngnevel.com/chasingzen, and keep the comments coming, keep the questions and the emails coming. I love hearing from you guys, and thank you.